And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. 23 volts here for some more Shadowverse meta checking. Oh, not really meta checking, but we're here for more of the same. We're going to check every single class to see how the rotation cards are going to be affecting every single deck archetype and seeing if the new cards will bring something new to the table. So I know pretty much everything in terms legendaries and golds, but I don't know any of the newer cards from silver onwards, so this is going to be a somewhat reaction video, but also to explain what we can expect in the future of this card pack. Because, to be quite honest with you, this whole card pack, especially from the previous episodes, all these legendary cards that are highlighted, it's RNG. This whole card pack is just RNG out the wazoo. Let us see what Dragoncraft can do in the following pack. So, very popular cards, very popular deck archetypes that are being played right now. Machina Natura deck. So Machina, Evo discard. I love this deck, by the way. This deck is fun. Aggro. I've never actually seen a lot of aggro decks, but okay, that's nice. Nice. Macnat, Evo Dragon, which is again same as Evo discard. So Evo Machina, aggro again. There's aggro decks, but okay. So generally, we're seeing a lot of Machina and Natura decks and Evo decks. So let's see how the cards that are going to be leaving affect those two specific decks. So, cards that are going to be leaving. Soaring Dragonoot. This was always a niche depending on which kind of deck archetype you played. This was essentially for Evo discard. That sucks that this thing's going to go. This thing was amazing. Aggro is going to lose Byron, which Byron is pretty much essential for any aggro deck. Dragonic Core. This is going to be a big loss to many ramp style dragon decks because this thing, again, it gave you a free empty play point orb and recovered 2 play points. Any of these Evo amulets that recovered 2 play points were genuinely used. Any of the other amulets weren't really as much. Oh, Forte. Oh, goodbye, alas. This was pretty neat dragon card if you were having like a run just a few of, just to do just face damage. Dragon Ranch say play, and I really wanted to see if anyone could have put Dagon to good use because this is pretty funny. But yeah, I didn't really see anyone playing this card at all. So, funnily enough, Dragoncraft didn't really lose too much. It lost a big aggro card and it lost a big ramp card that actually was pretty impactful for evolving and whatnot. But most of it's still the same. I can still see Machina Natura decks working because most of those Machina cards are from later packs, not this pack per se. The only thing that I guess that one would have used would be Dragonic Core, right? I can't remember how that deck worked, to be honest, but I personally think there's not a big loss in anything. Only aggro dragon probably got hit here. Okay, now let's talk about the RNG card of Dragoncraft. Ernst Justice, the tarot card number 11, is a 10 play point 11/8 with Ward. But it's also a 10 play point 8/11 with Storm, and I'll explain why. So when this follower comes into play, it randomly activates one of the following effects. You can either have it draw 3 cards, or it's evolved. So it's a coin flip 50-50. Obviously, you can only play it for 10, so it's a dead card until you ramp up to it. When this follower, if you keep it in its ward state, if this follower leaves play, you restore 8 defense to your leader. So it's a purely defensive card if you leave it in an award state because it's a ward. If the enemy gets rid of it with a spell or destroying it or whatever, then you restore 8. Makes you nice and healthy again. But what most people are going to be trying to go for is the evolve. So it has a chance to evolve, becoming a 10 play point 8/11 Storm, which is pretty nutty. The cool thing about it is that you can evolve this. Like, you can evolve it so that you draw 3 cards and it Storm happens. But you do lose the restoring 8 defense to your leader and the ward. So you're really committing to it. But the fact of the matter is, this one I think is a lot more... This is a lot more fair in terms of the coin flip 50-50, unlike Swordcrafts. Very much unlike Swordcrafts or the D10 dice roll that Runecraft has. I think this one is a little bit more manageable, and I like this card a lot. This is going to see 3 ofs everywhere, and people are going to ramp up to it. Turncoat Dragon Summoner is a 3 play point 2/3. If this card is discarded by any effect, put a Crimson Dragon's Sorrow into your hand. Give it. This card itself has Ward. discards a card and puts an Azura Drage into your hand. So to work with the discard deck, I guess, there's actually use of discarding. So you might be wondering, what is that? So if you discard it, you've put a 5 play point 4/4 with Ward, fanfare, discard a card, draw 2 cards. So it's essentially a 4/4 with Ward, but you can reduce the cost purely by discarding cards. And there are a lot of discard cards in the deck. It is unfortunate that you're losing the Soaring Dragonoot for this, because the Soaring Dragonoot can just keep discarding consistently, but without it, unfortunately, you're not really going to get anything much else. And then the other version is essentially, it's got the same thing, but it's Storm, so it's the more aggressive one. And I guess the key difference here is that you're playing 3 play points to put this in your hand, but if you get rid of this, say for example, if you get rid of this on turn 1, then you get this immediately. But you have to wait till turn 3 in order to put this into your hand. So there's your key differences. So it is a lot more harder to get the Azure Dragon's discounted cost into effect. But those, I think Discard Dragon has some tools that can do it. And maybe the rest of the silvers and bronzes can work alongside with it. Slaughtering Dragonoot is a 3 play point 2/8. I forgot about this. But yeah, 3 play point 2/8. Bane. Banish all cards in your deck that originally cost 1, 3, 5, 7, or 9, so any odd numbers. So you can't have 2 of these on board because that would be insane! But can only attack if Overflow is active for you, which is very easy to do if you ramp up to it. But again, most of the ramp cards I think are even. Like Dragon Oracle, you would lose this. Yeah, you'd lose her. You lose this if you're playing discard. You'd lose a Gunryu, which you definitely don't want. You lose a Roller. That's bad. Oracle Run, that's not too bad. You would lose a Valdane, so this is definitely not a Natura deck. I don't know, you're losing some pretty good cards if you try to play this. Oh, thank fuck you don't lose Genesis. Let's have a look and see what you actually keep. Wait, no, those are the cards that you keep, right? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry, you keep those cards. Okay, so then those cards are pretty decent. The cards that I said that you were going to lose, that's fine. The cards that I said you were going to lose, it's fine. These are the cards that you're going to lose. Ouch, ouch. Ouch if you're Naturing. But again, you're not playing Natura with this. Ouch if you're going to use Dark Prison. Oh, Cursed Fervor's gone. Oh, I mean, in my opinion, it's much less. You lose a KO as well. Okay, fine. Fair enough. Even outweighs the odd, but still. Evolve, deal 4 damage to all followers. This whole thing is just to be just a big nuisance. So the only way you can kill this thing is with Bane or Destruction effects. Dragon Call, randomly put one of the highest cost Dragoncraft followers from your deck into your hand. If Overflow is active for you, put 2 instead. Just good. 2 play point draw. Tutor as well for your bigger followers, and you'll usually be ramping up anyway. And if Overflow is active for you, draw 2 instead. By the time Overflow is active for you, you could probably play the 2 highest cost Dragoncraft followers next turn anyway. So anyway, new cards. Helio Dragon. Dragon Silver, 3/1/5. That is very defensive. If this card is discarded by an effect, summon an Ivory Dragon. Then if Overflow is active for you, draw a card. So Ivory Dragon is a 1 play point 1/2. So you discard something, you essentially play a 1/2 on board, which is pretty good. Essentially, you're playing an Ivory Dragon for free. Is what that is. During your turn, whenever you discard cards, restore X defense to your leader. So if you play it on 3 and you start discarding stuff, you can restore health. I think this card is more so just going to be used as discard fodder, if anything. I mean, a 1/5 body is actually pretty tank to get rid of, so it's not too bad. If this is evolved, 7 defense is still pretty hard to get rid of, especially for many 4-cost cards that only really have 4 attack. Wavecrest Angler. 2/2/2 Dragoncraft Silver follower. Randomly put a copy of a card discarded by an effect this turn into your hand. Neat. Neat. I like this. It's a 2 play point 2/2 that puts the card that you discarded back. And it's a 2/2 body. It's just generally good because, again, the standard body is all you need. At turn 2, if you don't have a 1/3 or a 2/2 on board, you are in trouble. But this is good. Dragon Impact, a 4 play point silver spell. Give 1/1/1 to a Dragoncraft follower in your hand, and Rush as well. Deal 5 damage to a random enemy follower. It's going to be played when there's a targetable card in your hand. I don't know. Pretty costly. Pretty costly to give 5 damage to a random enemy follower. I don't see this one a lot. Nah, not a favorite of this one. Moving on. Springwell Dragon Keeper. 2 play point 2/2. Good stats. Bronze. Fanfare, discard a card, deal 4 damage to an enemy follower. See, look at that. That's so much better than this. Because first off, it's 5 damage to a random enemy follower. This one, you discard a card, deal 4 damage to an enemy follower. And the hand's 5, gain +3/+3. That's pretty good. Activates only when a targetable card in your hand and a targetable enemy follows in place. So if you're going first, then you don't actually discard anything, which is neat. A 2 play point card that deals 4 damage to something that you can choose is really insane, so I'll give it that. Alright, Dragonclad Lancer, bronze 1/1. Fanfare, if any other followers are in play, deal 2 damage to 1, then draw a card, then gain +2/+1. Holy crap, what? What? So play this after anything. Oh! If any of the allied followers play, deal 2 damage to one of them, then draw a card, then gain +2/+1. 1 play point 3/2, huh? Okay. Sure. Granted, the thing though, there's so many fucking fat followers though. It could work off this, it could work off this. Dragoncraft has some really good board presence, pretty much. Alright, 2 more cards for Dragoncraft. Tropical Grouper. 2 play point 1/2 follower with bronze. Fanfare, enhance 4, summon a Tropical Grouper. So you summon a second one. During your turn, whenever an allied follower evolves, summon another one of them. Actually, okay. I completely misread that. I thought I was going way too far. That's not as bad then. I thought it was like if you evolve this, then all the other tropical groupers evolve, and then because that's evolving, then you summon 2 more. Then I was like, whoa, relax. But nah, this is kind of garbo. I don't know about this one. It's a 2 play point 1/2, which already has it's understated. I mean, unless you play another 2-cost follower alongside with it, then maybe you get something of worth. But I don't know. I don't really see it being played. And finally, Dragon Spawnling. 3 play point bronze spell card. Summon 2 Dragon's Nests. If you have 10 play point orbs, summon 5 instead. Okay, so if you have 10 play point orbs, you will be restoring 10 defense to your leader at the start of your next turn. Granted, that is if you have an empty board. It's super defensive, I'll give you that. It's super defensive, it's a nice redraw. Having 2 amulets on the board, will that cover up space? Would that be a problem? I don't know. And there you have it. That's Dragoncraft in a nutshell. What do I think of it? So this whole package is very, very much focused on discard dragon being more on the discard side than the ramping of the discard Evo and whatnot side. So I still see Evo Dragon with discard effects still going to be used, but maybe there's enough here for discard dragon to be a thing. This is crucial because again you do have the storm part of it. Although for 4 play points or 4 attack on storm for discounting is not really that strong, especially with an 8 cost or an 8 damage to the face follower that comes up at 10 play points. Okay, maybe discard can work, but probably not strong enough to beat Machina Dragon in my opinion. Machina Natura Dragon, I mean. Well, that's going to have to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. This is the Dragoncraft version of the game. If I was to give my final thoughts, this card's going to be fun to use, and I'm going to be seeing a lot of these. This card's going to be used in mainly discard stuff. And all the other cards, again, I'm seeing a lot of discard dragon. But in the next episode, we're going to go over Shadowcraft and their cards. So I'll see you guys then.